London Arena in East London. In little over an hour's time, some of the world's greatest players will compete here in front of a packed crowd in the inaugural Pepsi World Challenge.
This event will pit players from around the globe in an individual skills tournament, celebrating the best the sport of football has to offer. The players, that include the likes of David Beckham, Rui Costa, Dwight Yorke and Juan Veron, will compete in 5 skill tests to determine the overall winner in a kind of World Cup for players. Welcome to the Pepsi World Challenge.
This is a tournament focusing on 5 main areas of footballing skills: passing, dribbling, control, shooting and tricks. Each event will determine a winner of that particular skill, while the total points accumulated by each player will determine our overall champion. Simple enough.
Before each skill test, we'll talk you through the rules. But without further ado, let's meet the referees and the participants of this year's Pepsi World Challenge. First out, Premier League referees Mark Halsey, Barry Knight and Paul Taylor.
And now, in alphabetical order, the players.
The star of Middle Eastern football, it's Sammy Al Jabar.
The current number 2 European and World Football Player of the Year, David Beckham.
Voted number 2 in the world in 1998, Brazilian left-back Roberto Carlos.
Fiorentina and Portugal's Rui Costa.
Crystal Palace and Chinese national team captain Fan Chi-hai.
Now we meet Egyptian midfielder Hazem Imam.
Another player from China, a star of football in the Far East, Lee Jin-yu.
From Vietnam, Nguyen Hồng Sơn.
From Mexico, Rafael Marquez.
Manuel Black Mamba Olisa Debe.
World Footballer of the Year, Barcelona's Rivaldo.
Now, a player rated as Russia's finest, Sergei Semak. Newcastle United and Peruvian winger, Roberto Solano.
An Argentinian star currently leading Lazio's quest for success. It's Juan Veron.
And last but not least, Manchester United striker Dwight Yorke.
So give all these players a warm London Arena welcome.
Well, all the niceties are out of the way, and now it's time for the main event to start.
Our first challenge of the day is called Pass Masters, which will test our star players' ability to strike accurate passes, the kind of pass you may see being played as a through ball or a cross. Here's how it works.
2 players will participate on court at a time. On the referee's whistle, players will take it in turns to strike their 5 lofted passes. A touch must be taken before striking a moving ball before crossing the strike line. 10, 7 or 5 points are scored depending on which of the 3 targets they hit. Hits are scored when the ball strikes a mannequin or lands on the target mat below, and players receive the accumulated score.
Please give a big hand to an England international currently regarded as one of the best passers in world football. Never mind currently regarded, he is one of the best passers in world football. It's David Beckham. with him a man who's undoubtedly Mexico's finest. It's Rafael Marquez.
First up, the 20-year-old Mexican defender. Plays his football in France with Monaco. Right side defender, and immediately goes for a 5-point score. The target's 25 metres, 30 metres and 35 metres away. And curling accurately, right foot, good strike. David Beckham, so close to becoming World and European Footballer of the Year last time around. Goes for the long one. Misses out Beckham. Juan Veron, Rui Costa looking on. Great midfield maestros. Up comes Marquez again. Caught between the two. Floated on. Not long enough. Beckham again. Little chip this time, going for easy points. No one can vary passing like Beckham in European football at the moment. The short pass, the long pass. Maybe criticised sometimes for going for that jackpot pass too often in games. This is Marquez. I think he was going then for the 7-point target. Misses out. Chance for Beckham. Goes for the big one! Well, David Beckham, it's given! A gentle nod of acknowledgement. Hit the target area, only just. Marquez going for the 10 points again! Bounced on, Marquez hits!
Both players missed their next strike, so Beckham has one last chance to take the lead and set the benchmark.
Oh, disappointing for David Beckham. Written across his face, ends up with 15 points.
Well, the boys are just getting warmed up, as you can tell, but it's a creditable draw with 15 points each.
David, it's not as easy as it looks.
No, it's not. You know, with the crowd, there's a bit of nervousness around the players, and you know, it's a good laugh. But you know, you want to still hit the target. It is difficult.
What's the spirit like on the bench?
It's good. As you can see, we're all chatting and having a laugh, and you know, just watching each other sort of get nervous and then enjoy it really.
And how competitive?
Very, very.
You want to win this?
Yeah, well, you know, we all want to win it.
And what about Dwight's chances now in coming up the Past Masters test, Dwight?
I don't think I've got a chance in the world, to be fair. I'm like a bit of a nervous wreck now, but as I said, it's great fun. And it's great for the kids to see what the pros are like here.
Pressure's on.
Pressure is certainly on, but I'm going to enjoy it. Good luck with it, thanks.
Next up were Egyptian international Hazim Imam and Chinese star Fan Zhihai. Imam kicked off with a curling effort, spot on, 7 points. Fan Zhihai failed to make any impression on the scoreboard, despite coming close. But Imam wrapped up his performance by scoring 10 points to take the overall lead with 17. Russian attacking midfielder Sergei Semak scored just once, with his first strike earning 10 points. The Lazio and Argentina star Juan Veron surprisingly struggled with his accuracy, eventually posting 10 points, but with a little help from the cameraman. So much for keeping your eye on the ball. Enter the world's number one. Playing safe, Rivaldo immediately got 5 points on the board. Vietnam's Hồng Sơn showed more adventure, repeatedly aiming for the 10-point target, but scoring only with that effort. Having added another 5 points to his tally, Rivaldo finished Past Masters with another direct hit and a total of 15. Crowd favourite Sammy Al Jabar was unlucky to finish his first skill test without scoring any points. But the Saudi Arabian star still managed to enjoy himself. While Manchester United's Dwight Yorke showed there's more to his game than just finishing. Great shape and balance from Yorke. His only scoring pass, but it still notched up 10 points. Polish international Emmanuel Black Mamba, yes that is his real nickname, Olasadebe, also scored with just one of his strikes, connecting with this 7-pointer. The shock of the round saw Fiorentina and Portugal midfield star Rui Costa fail with all 5 of his passes. Close, but not close enough. Typically, Roberto Carlos added another dimension to the challenge by striking his passes with the outside of his foot. This 10-pointer giving him a total of 15 to take him to joint second behind Imam. And Newcastle's Alberto Solano managed 2 hits to finish with 10 points.
So let's give a big London Arena welcome to a star of Turkey's Euro 2000 team, Hakan Barak, and China's Lee Jinyu.
So Lee Jinyu, the Liaoning striker, 17 points to beat. Right foot floater, 1 bounce. The second hits the target. That's 10 big points scored. The Sheffield Wednesday and England band there. Travel the world with England. Watching top football, they're seeing more here. That's a great strike. Hakan Barak of Galatasaray, UEFA Cup winner. The ball wasn't moving. He has to tap the ball. It won't count, it won't count. There you are, confirmed by the referees. You have to have 1 touch, then go for the strike. Another ambitious effort from Lee Jinyu, wide of the mark. So Barak goes for his first points here. He's right centre midfield, hard-working player, lots of stamina. Accuracy too, 10 points for Barak. Says he's happy to stay in Turkish football. He's with their Euro 2000 Championship squad. Lee Jinyu needs points now. Curling, oh, desperately close.
Barak missed his next pass, so back to Lee Jinyu.
This young man's improved so much, and a lot of English coaches over the last couple of years, like Ted. Yes, great strike! Curling, a long way, and 10 points, and he takes the lead. Lee Jinyu. What can Barak do? Can he match that? Again, a bit of a grubber. Bouncing all the way and bounced over the target map. That doesn't count. Look at this. Just short. Skipped up over. Lee Jinyu. His last effort to certainly seal the victory. Scuffed it. Didn't make contact properly. But finishes with 20 points.
The winner overall was Lee Jinyu. Lee Jinyu, come over. Did you expect to win?
No, it's that, I'll try my best. I just try my best.
You did very well, well done. So let's take a look at the final scores for Pass Masters.
Chinese international Lee Jinyu takes the Pass Masters crown ahead of Egyptian Hazim Imam. David Beckham, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo and Rafael Marquez all tied for third on 15 points. Rui Costa, Sammy Al Jabar and Fan Chi Yai failed to get any points on the board. And that's how they stand after round 1. After the break, they're juggling for points. It's the freestyle test.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Winner takes the Pepsi.
Sure.
Now it's time for our second challenge, freestyle football. This event's a test of skill and creativity and will work like this.
Each player will take it in turn to juggle for 1 minute, incorporating as many tricks as possible. If the ball leaves the circle, the player will continue with another ball. At the end of each minute session, the 3 referees will score the routine out of 10, with the player receiving the combined score out of 30.
Juan Veron showed a real lightness of touch to score 25 points. Next up, Sammy Al Jabar. The first impressions count in this event. A head start to Sammy's routine, not once, but twice. Then He shinned a couple, unorthodox but intentional, and not as easy as it looks. The judges certainly liked it. 27 points, and Al Jabar had the lead. Having finished second in pass masters, Egyptian striker Imam let his shoulders carry the early burden. Not spectacular, but neat and tidy. And so was Imam's legwork. A little bit of knees up stuff, and 22 out of 30 for Imam. Now Rivaldo. For sheer lightness of touch and momentum, the world's #1 player did not disappoint, mastering the ball for one mesmerising minute. But as in the past Masters, the Brazilian played it relatively simple. Maybe the judges expected more. A total of 24 points for Rivaldo. And what about that for starters? And what followed wasn't bad either. From Vietnam's Hồng Sơn, naturally gifted and not afraid to take risks. The shoulders played their part. And then came the finale. Spot-on control, balance. And how about this for a happy ending? 3 nines, 27 points for Hồng Sơn and the joint lead. Russian striker Semak started bravely, improvising his own donkey kick. No easy trick. After that, though, the ball came down to earth rather too often. Again, the judges expected more. 3 sevens for Semak, 21 points. Newcastle's Alberto Solano kept his head to begin with. And watch out for the highlights of Nobby's routine. A clever step over, right to left. The overall mark couldn't make an impression on the leaders, however. 22 for Solano. Emmanuel Olasadebe just went for it. He's got a big frame, but wonderful technique. From quick to slow. He ended with a high kicking knees up. The crowd liked it, so did the judges. 27 out of 30, and Olasadebe joined the tie for the lead. First target for Roberto Carlos, beating the 24 scored by his teammate Rivaldo. From front to back, there was a bit more flair about Roberto's routine, even if he got a bit carried away. There is the pièce de résistance, and another 27 out of 30. Rui Costa had some ground to make up after pass masters. It was all in the footwork for the Portuguese star, simple but subtle. His ball control blended neatly into a delightful step over. Maybe not energetic enough though to really impress. 23 for Rui Costa, but he loved every minute of it out in the centre circle.
How does this event compare to playing an important match?
It's very nice for the players, because in football it's very passionate. And today is a different day for the players, which is very good.
You've got your friend alongside you, Juan Veron from Serie A.
As a friend, one of the great players in the world. I'm happy to play with Veron.
And how much do you want to win?
No, it's not important win. Important. This is important for me.
Enjoying it.
Okay, thank you.
So with 3 players still to go, Al Jabar, Carlos, Hồng Sơn and Olasadebe lead the way with 27 points. They've set a target that's going to be tough to beat.
Next up to take the stage, the Chinese international Li Jinyu.
Here he comes, the overall leader so far. After the pass masters exercise. Good steady start. Instep of the boot, that's neat. Outside. Right foot and the left. Had to stretch. Technically will be dock points if he goes outside that circle. Oh, that's a lovely high stepping routine. Good poise. Confidence here. Keeping it in the air with his head. Then the balance and the jump as well. Referee's impressed. Off the shoulders, this is lovely. Great rhythm to it. Quick feet, dancing feet, Lee Jin-yu. Well, I would say Beckham and Yorke have to go some here to keep. He's gone out of the ring. To keep in touch with Lee Jin-yu, the Manchester United players are going to have to perform very, very well. Off the head again. One last big header. That's great control. The drop of the ball, some 4 or 5 feet. 6, 7 feet there. Beckham and Yorke looking on. They're impressed. So am I. And a fancy flourish at the end and the boot into the crowd. Splendid. Terrific routine from Lee Jin-yu. Quick word from his interpreter there. Oh, look at that. 28 points. He leads again. What a surprise here. The Chinese international striker. Right to left foot. Instep outside of the boot. There's the thigh. Exercise. Onto the shoulder. Use of the head. Which was spectacular later in the routine.
Mr. Lee Jin-yu, some very foxy headwork there. You've got into the lead with a score of 28 points.
Our next contestant is a player who has lit up the Premier League for Aston Villa and now Manchester United, Dwight Yorke.
Ever the showman, Dwight Yorke. Crowd love that. Always plays his football with a smile on his face. Teammates at Old Trafford appreciate it, Dwight Yorke. Brought to English football by Graham Taylor, former England manager. This little skip start, right thigh onto the head, Dwight Yorke. Great control, back of the net, and again. Neck trap from Dwight Yorke. Such a difficult skill. Balance there. Started his season in stuttering style with Manchester United. What a dramatic campaign they've had since, with David Beckham looking on. Dwight Yorke in action also for Trinidad and Tobago in their World Cup qualifiers. Ooh, it went to ground now. Did he mean that? Was that a balletic step over from Dwight Yorke? Oh, magnificent. Caught that on the outside of his right boot while almost exercising the splits. And again, little stretch forward. Toe trap, brilliant stuff from Yorke this. Balletic. First Manchester United player since Brian McLeod has scored 20 goals in a season, having signed from Aston Villa. Heading control, look at the concentration there. Eyes to ball. Off the shoulder, neck trap again, flicks it up, catches, keeps it in the air. Beckham an admirer. Oh, that's a terrific routine by Dwight Yorke. And the show goes on, it would seem. Smiling, but then he would. Applause from David Beckham. Look at that, a perfect 30 for Dwight Yorke. Maximum points.
Dwight Yorke goes into the lead with a perfect score of 30.
Dwight, 30. Yeah. You can't get better than that. No, I'm happy. A little bit nervous at start, man. He's got to follow you now, David Beckham.
Yeah, put the pressure on.
That is pressure.
Yeah, you can handle it. No problem.
Where did that come from?
On the beach, I suppose, back home. You know, just keeping the ball up. Bit of fun.
Fun? It was magic. From the skip start onwards. Rhythm of the headers, eyes glued to the ball, neck trap, sort of 2 or 3 of them. Audacious confidence as well. Have a look at this. Keeping the ball balanced. The kiss. Then the stretch traps there, outside of the right boot. Fantastic stuff. Digs another one in here. Instep of the foot. Great routine.
Now there's just one player left to take on the freestyle challenge. It's Dwight's teammate at Manchester United, David Beckham.
Old Trafford pride at stake for David Beckham, and he starts the freestyle football 33 points behind the competition leader Lee Jin-yu. Pressure on Beckham. Oh, lovely start. Little donkey flick up. Right thigh, off the forehead. Then look at the balance of the shoulders. Concentration. Eye to ball. Poise. Almost dead still, David Beckham. Good point score of that. Neck trap. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, the push-ups. Brilliant stuff from David Beckham. Splendid. I wonder if Sir Alex Ferguson marks him highly for that in training, day in, day out. Oh, touched ground. The right thigh again. Touched the ground again, but Beckham scored superb points early on. Look at the height on that. Off the thigh trap. Kept it down as well. David Beckham. Kept it under control. Again to the head. Juggling the ball with ease. Kills it. Dwight Yorke watches on. Outside of the right foot. Time ticking down. Needs to score big here in the closing stages. Off the neck trap. Quick momentum. Oh, lovely. Skip half volley. Under control. Brilliant routine by Beckham. Full of improvisation. High point scorer, I'm sure. Let's see how the referee's marking. Dwight Yorke watches on. It's 30 again for David Beckham. He moves to within 3 points of leading you at the top of the table. Perfect routine.
David, you had a tough act to follow. You followed it.
Yeah, he always he put a little bit of pressure on me, like he does. You know, he likes to do that, but you know, we can handle the pressure, and you know, tough act to follow, Yorkie.
Tell me about that press-up trick.
I didn't even think about it before, but I thought I had to do something to keep up with him, so it just happened.
Have the guys at United not seen that?
I don't think so, no. I think.
I don't know about you, John Barnes, but right from the start for me, Beckham's routine had that extra sparkle.
Showing that whatever Dwight can do, David can do as well. David matches Dwight's feats with a perfect score of 30 points.
David, not being nationalistic or anything, but like the boys from the English club's done us proud.
Yeah, it was a surprise actually, because you know, there's a lot of talented players here from all around the world.
Dwight, do you really think that you'd score a perfect 30 points?
No, not really. I just wanted to go out there and get a good feel of the ball. It was important that I get off to a good start. And by balancing the ball in the dugout, just give me that extra confidence.
They always say the right things, these Manchester United players.
A brilliant climax to freestyle football. The Manchester United duo of Yorke and Beckham share the spoils, but didn't Lee Jin-Yu come close? And Lee Jin-Yu is still in the overall lead, 3 points ahead of David Beckham. Carlos and Yorke lead the chasing pack, while the bottom three stay the same after their failure to score points in round one. After the break, 2 knockout challenges, dribbling and head tennis.
Beckham's been taken off by Manchester United. Do you think he's had a knock, or is it tactical? By the way, Beckham doesn't look too happy.
Inside Out is a test that will determine which of our players are quickest when dribbling with the ball at their feet. Our players will compete in 4 heats, each contested by 4 players. The object of this test is to progress all the way to the final. Take a look at this.
From each race, the first 2 finishers will qualify for the next round. This format will continue until we're left with just 4 finalists. Players have to weave between 3 mannequins at speed, both on the way out and on the way back, with the first 2 crossing the finishing line, qualifying for the next round.
So here's the draw for the first 2 heats. Heat 1.
Benzi High, Rui Costa, Hong Son and Al Jabar.
And you have to fancy Rui Costa dribbling at pace. And a good start by the Portuguese and Fiorentina midfield player. There's Benzi just stumbling a little bit. Inside him, Al Jabar, and then Hong Son on the far side. And first back is Rui Costa. And it looks to me as if Al Jabar has just touched off Hong Son for second place. Beckham smiles. Great run by Rui Costa. And I think it was Al Jabar just getting back for second place there. Very close for second.
In the second heat of Inside Out, David Beckham looked to be on the way to the semi-finals, but a slip cost him dearly. Newcastle's Alberto Solano was neat and tidy, but not quick enough across the AstroTurf. While competition leader Lee Jin-Yu continued to impress, qualifying in second place, Russian Sergei Semak booked his place in the semis, winning the heats comfortably. In Heat 3, Rivaldo struggled, perhaps due to a recent injury. Turkish midfielder Okan Buruk also looked untidy. Rafael Marquez raced away to finish first, just ahead of Buruk and Veron, who really needed to qualify to start making an impression on the leaderboard. So Marquez and Buruk through to the second semi-final. In the final heat of round 1, Roberto Carlos failed to go through. Imam's quick turn was the key to his victory. Manchester United's Dwight Yorke almost lost control, but he managed to edge out Polish international Olusadebe and qualify in second place. But it was a very close-run thing.
Well, we're down for our last 8 in our inside-out challenge. Here's how they'll line up.
In the first semi-final, we've got Semak, Lee Jin-yu, Rio Costa and Al Jabar.
Lee Jin-yu, competition leader with 48 points, but Rui Costa won his heat in blinding fashion. Flashed away. There he is, bottom of your picture. 2 away from him is Lee Jin-yu, and he gets off to a good start. There's Rui Costa from behind. Great running with the ball. Lee Jin-yu seemed to stumble halfway up the course, but meanwhile, here he comes powering back down the middle. Sergei is out of it at the top-hand side. Sergei Semek, Rui Costa finishes well, and Lee Jin-yu. But the referee is not happy, and they're calling for a video replay of this. What was the matter? Rui Costa starting sluggishly. It's not him. Lee Jin-yu goes past that mannequin, stumbles, gets to the bottom turn. That's the problem. He didn't go round the mannequin. Lee Jin-yu is out. You have to go through the mannequin. He will be disqualified, I'm sure.
After some confusion in the first semi-final, there was actually a disqualification. The 2 to go through are Rui Costa and Al Jabar. In the second semi-final, we'll have Buruk, Marquez, Imam and Dwight Yorke.
Chance for Imam and Yorke to close on the overall leaders. This is Buruk, bottom of the picture. That's Imam starting to fly as well. In the chasing pack after 2 events with 37 points. Buruk coming, closing on him very, very quickly down to the bottom of the picture. A bit of a stumble there. Dwight Yorke, though, I think is out of it. He won't meet the final of this, finishing third. Dwight Yorke, disappointment all over those shoulders. Hang on a minute, I'm being told from pitch side there could be a problem with Buruk. He seemed to turn sweetly. Let's have a look. There was a stumble here at the end. There you can see it. He had to stop the ball on that line. He has not stopped the ball, and Buruk could face elimination here. Let's have a look at it again. There's the stumble, and Buruk could be out here, and this could be a precious lifeline through for Dwight Yorke. It all depends what the referee has to say about Buruk.
Imam and Yorke go through, as the other chap was disqualified for not controlling the ball on the line.
A bit lucky for Yorke, I suppose.
A little bit lucky, but that's the way it goes, isn't it?
You're in the final now. What are your chances?
I hope all the best for all the players. It's nice for me to proud for me to play with these big names. Anyone win would be good for me.
Okay, so the 4 players in the final are Rui Costa, Al Jabar, Imam and Yorke. Good luck, boys.
Big points up for grabs. 30 points for the winner of this final. Imam and Yorke guaranteed to move into the top 2 of the competition overall. Yorke leads them out then. Already at his mark though, Rui Costa. There's Sammy Al Jabar of Saudi Arabia. Always smiling, Dwight Yorke. And the Egyptian, Imam. On your marks then. Great chance here for Imam and Yorke. Rui Costa. Ooh, that's a bit of a poor piece of control. His first touch let him down there. And Yorke and Imam are absolutely flying here. Look at Imam through the middle. He's just going to pin Yorke. Great run by Imam. Superb finish as well. Look at this for deft control. Bang, right on the spot. Superb trap. Yorke finishing split second behind him. Very, very close. The thumbs up from Imam. And a great sprint finish there. They walk off, quiet satisfaction written on the face of Imam, the Egyptian. Dwight Yorke just pit for it. Rui Costa got off to a flyer, but that was the poor touch. Hit the mannequin, never really recovered. Al Jabar never in the race in lane 3. And look at Imam flying against Dwight Yorke. Yorke nearly back. Imam also, but Imam gets there first, just from Dwight Yorke.
The winner is Imam, so let's call him over for a quick word. Well, in the first two rounds, Rui Costa for me was the favourite, but unfortunately he had a bit of a hiccup.
All are very big talent, and I look at them in the TV. It's nice to share them in this celebration, and I'm very proud to be with them.
Well, it's also nice to beat them as well. Congratulations.
Inside-out winner Imam collects 31 earned points, runner-up Yorke gets 25, Rui Costa 20, Sammy Al Jabar 15. Semi-final losers receive 10 points, with 5 going to those players knocked out in round 1. So Imam shoots from 5th to 1st to lead Dwight Yorke by 4 points.
Now it's time for the penultimate challenge of the day, head-to-head.
This event is also structured in a knockout format and replicates the head tennis game often used in training.
Our players have been drawn in 8 preliminary heats, with winners progressing into the next round, and so on, until just 2 are left to contest the final. Here's how the game works.
Games last for a maximum of 5 minutes or first to 7 points, whichever comes first. Players have to play the ball over the net to each other, and they're allowed 1 bounce and 2 touches to get the ball back across. Points are scored when a player fails to return the ball into his opponent's court. Serve stays with the last scoring player.
Round 1 saw the 16 players drawn in ace heats. Marquez edged out Rivaldo to face Sergei Semak, who beat Roberto Carlos. Baruch defeated Veron. Yorke lost to the impressive Hong Son. Hazim Imam earned a quarter-final with David Beckham. Fanji Yai and Rui Costa also made it through. The games last for a maximum of 4 minutes, or it's the first to 7 points. The Vietnamese star Hong Song needed just 2 minutes to demolish Okan Baruch 7-1. Rafael Marquez also progressed comfortably, beating Semak 7-3. And how about this for a winning points? The ball spins back over the net, giving the Russian no chance to return. In the closest game of the round, strong home support for David Beckham was not quite enough to beat the event leader, Hazim Imam. After 4 minutes, Imam came back to win a thriller 6-5, much to the bafflement of the world number 2. The event's bottom place player, Fanji Yai, at last began to show some form in a hard-fought 4-3 win over Rui Costa. So after those quarterfinals, Rafael Marquez and Nguyang Hong Song will meet in the first of the semis. After beating Beckham, Imam faces Fanji Yai.
So things are getting exciting. In the first semi-final, Marquez meets Hong Son.
We join the first semi with Hong Song leading comfortably 6-0.
The serve at match point is deep. Don't forget, 2 touches, 1 bounce. There's the first touch. Oh, how about that? Quality for the second. Marquez, powerful header down to the baseline. There's that little donkey flick again from the former Asian Player of the Year. Magnificent stuff from Hong Song. Chest trap, left foot back over the net. Easy header for Marquez. Oh, he didn't play it very well. The second one flicked the net. Hong Song stretches into the net, and Rafael Marquez alive, but only just a little bit fortuitous. Hong Song back over the net, and again that's a deep lob. Towards the baseline, Rafael Marquez into the net, and so it was just a stay of execution for him. Hong Song wins it.
So Hong Song goes through impressively to meet the winner of Fanji Yai and Imam. We join the match with Imam 5-3 up.
Imam, competition leader, needing 2 points to win it. Fanji Yai had to stretch, 6'4" tall, deep lob to the sidelines. Imam had to stretch. That's a good touch, left foot. In step forward. And out from Fanji, too deep, and match point for Imam. Right foot. Fanji lets it bounce. That's the second touch back over the net, deep again. Imam dropping back to himself room. Right foot, volley back over the net. Fanji chest trapping again, very, very deep, too deep, and Imam wins it. 7 points to 3. Imam guaranteed the whole top spot overall then. Win or lose in the head-to-head final, where he'll meet Hong Son.
So the final of the head-to-head sees Imam playing Hong Son.
To very talented attacking midfield players or forwards. Imam on the right, Hong Song on the left. Hong Song had to stretch and was run very close to beat Dwight Yorke in round 1 of head-to-head. Deft touch to beat Dwight Yorke 7-4. Far too strong though, with some balletic touches for Baruch 7-1. And easily disposing of Rafael Marquez by the same scoreline. Imam was pushed very close by Al Jabar before a 6-4 victory. Came from behind to leave David Beckham perplexed. Then far too strong for Fanzi, 7-3 to set up the head-to-head with Hong Song.
So to the final, with Hong Song leading 4-2.
Looks good, Hong Song, led all the way, has never been behind in the head-to-head competition. Imam right foot out to that far side of the court. Nice chest trap, easily laid back again by Hong Song. Imam pressing him here, that's an awkward one, bounced up high, did well. Oh, right onto the baseline. Imam deep again. Hong Song across, right foot, all rather spooned it out wide, just too wide. So, 4-3. Smiling, won't be happy. Onto the baseline it was. Then Imam with a chest trap. The mistake was made by Hong Song. Look at the concentration there in the dugout. Still Hong Song leading. Imam right foot again, has good distance with that. The band plays, matching the tempo of the head-to-head final. Splendid stuff from the bass drum. Imam again comes from a good footballing family. Dad was a forward, granddad was a goalkeeper. And that levels it up! Mistake by Hong Song after some good control. Look at this. Right foot back over the net. Then this is lovely. Outside of the boot. But this one comes down with snow on.
We rejoin the final, Hong Song leading 6-4. It's match point.
Imam really needs this one, otherwise Hong Song will start to press him in the competition overall. Oh, that's a misplaced sort of stubby touch there from Hong Song. He was pressed deep here, the deep log, but that's a poor touch into the net. Makes it very interesting. 6-5. Great carnival atmosphere. The band plays on. But with the music playing on, you can't hear the stadium clock. What I can tell you is it's ticking down towards the 4-minute mark. They've got to press on here to win it. Otherwise, time will have beaten them. Hong Song won't be interested in that. He'll be interested in the clock ticking down. He wants to hold on to this. And there goes the whistle. And it means that Hong Song has won it and moves second overall in the competition. Just holding on at the end. Pressed by Imam.
The winner of that was Hong Song.
And now for our final test of the evening, and one that promised to be the most exciting of them all.
This is called Hot Shots, and it sees our stars strike free kicks at goal from 22 yards out over a defensive wall, scoring points for power and for accuracy.
Two players participate in this test simultaneously and strike 4 free kicks each. Players hit 2 shots from both sides, aiming at one of the 8 scoring zones within the goal.
Now the test many of the fans here have been waiting for. With the mouth-watering prospect of Roberto Carlos and David Beckham still to come, Dwight Yorke showed that although he doesn't get a chance to take free kicks for Manchester United, he's accomplished at the arts. This strike from Yorke earning him the maximum 10 points. Rui Costa decided to aim for the bottom corner and collected 7 of his eventual 17 points with this effort recorded at 55 miles per hour. Lying third, Yorke needed a strong showing to have a chance of the trophy. Despite this great strike taking him to 20 points, he'd missed his previous two, and he'd missed his chance. Veron had no chance to win the overall title, but showed his character, scoring with 3 of his 4 strikes to set a tough target of 24 points. One dipping strike from the left would have had any keeper struggling. Lee Jin-Yu was the early leader. He failed to register any points in hot shots. This effort the closest he came. Winner of head-to-head and second overall, Hong Song opted for precision, not power, to catch Imam. Both his scoring strikes weren't exactly net busters, but they earned him 17 points and a share of the lead, with the Egyptian to go. Fan Ji-Yai struck his free kicks with more power, scoring 14 points, which should save him from getting the dreaded wooden spoon. So Veron leads hot shots with 24 points. Hong Song has caught Imam overall, but the Egyptian still has to go. Solano, currently lying bottom of the leaderboard, failed to score big points, ending his hot shots outing with just 14. At the other end of the leaderboard, Imam managed just 12 points. This is 10-point strike. It should be enough though, and the smile said it all. After 4 events, Emmanuel Olusadebe found himself in the bottom 3. After missing his first 3 shots towards the top corner, he added 7 points to his total with this scuffer. Rafael Marquez had no chance of winning, but a good score could move him up to second. In the end, 10 points kept the Mexican in 4th. Sammy Al Jabar finished strongly, scoring with 2 10-pointers. This effort flying into the top corner, courtesy of a slight deflection off that made-to-measure wall. Rivaldo showed just why he's feared by keepers all over the world when he stands over free kicks around the box. Scoring with all 4 of his strikes, Rivaldo managed 24 points to take a share of the hot shots lead with fellow South American Veron. Just look at this for accuracy.
Without further ado, please welcome David Beckham and Roberto Carlos to the floor.
Don't forget, David Beckham can finish in the top 3 overall, but this really about bragging. Who has the hottest shot, Beckham or Roberto Carlos? Beckham! Oh, desperately unlucky! Plenty of power with a right foot curler, but he nicked the bar. Much to Roberto Carlos' delight, but look at this! Oh, bounced off the bar. Now Beckham right-footed, of course, as the net ripples. Roberto Carlos left-footed. What on earth was that? Hottest shot in the world? Are you sure, Roberto Carlos? Well, fellow South American Veron absolutely delighted with it. Now Beckham needs a good clean strike. Oh, and didn't get it. David Beckham can't win the hot shots now. Scuffed at it really. Hit the wall. Roberto Carlos needs to score points and does. Little bit safety first perhaps. Over the wall, curling, 5-point score. Beckham. That's much better. Inch perfect from David Beckham. A wry smile. Less power, more accuracy. 10 points. Beautiful strike. Roberto Carlos, pensive. Oh, anything you can do. I can do better. Another 10 points for Roberto Carlos. Left foot again. Through the wall. Into that top corner. Beckham winds up. Oh, goodness me! Just over. Have a look at this again. It dipped, but just too late from David Beckham. Roberto Carlos, final effort, went for the power! And that's a mighty mannequin headache for someone in the morning. Roberto Carlos and David Beckham. Roberto Carlos just edges that one.
So Veron and Rivaldo share the hot shots crown ahead of Dwight Yorke and Okan Baruch. Imam managed only 12, but he'd earned enough points in earlier rounds to surely take the title. The final leaderboard sees Marquez, Beckham and Rui Costa just outside the top 3. But let's find out who's won.
Third place, Dwight Yorke with 90 points.
Hong Son, he's in second place. He got 99 points.
But the winner, all the way from Egypt, is Imam with 111 points.
I'm only very proud to be here with all these talented players. So it's really, I'm really proud about it, and to sharing this event is very nice to me in my career.
Hi.